Hey, today I want to give you a tour of our homestead here in northeastern Australia. It's super tropical, it's been a very wet year, we've got great soil, you can grow just about anything tropical, and the goal here is to be as self-sufficient as possible. And been here on this property for 3 years, so I just want to show you where we're at. So around me, I'm standing in the middle of the first part of the orchard, the first ones that were planted. Just over 3 years ago, I reckon. We've got a durian row, an Atocarpus row, which is jackfruits and champidax, and then we've got a row that's got half mangosteens and half durians. Half durians because the mangosteens actually died. They were really hard to get going from the small seedlings, but they're all on trellis, which basically was about 8 meters. We've got cement posts in the ground, 8 meters apart, and then high density wiring through the middle that we're weaving the trees through and training the branches along. As you'll see up here, where I've just got the wiring either side, growing the tree up through the middle, sprawling out the branches. Where we live here, we get a lot of strong wind, a lot of cyclones, and I want to be able to sleep well at night, even if a cyclone is coming, and not after 5, 6, 8 years of spending a lot of time, resources, energy into growing up all these trees for them to just snap over in a strong wind. So this is a bit of an insurance policy, and yeah, it costs a little bit more to set up, but long term, it's definitely the go. Quark, what are you doing? Come on, Quark, come on. Come on. I want to introduce you to Quark. Come here, Bubba. Quark's only just turned fully white from yellow. It is a baby Indian runner. It's probably 2 months old. Hey, Quark. And we've been incubating eggs every month from either chickens or ducks, and the incubator broke and only one of the ducks ended up surviving, and that was Quark. And it's the most loved and well looked after duck, I reckon, in Australia. It was a house duck up until 1 month old, until it started getting too big. Quark hangs out with us almost every day, whether it's in the orchard or down at the creek for a swim, or sometimes over at the cafe. So the beautiful thing about Indian runners, they actually can't fly, and they don't dig either. So they're really beautiful through the orchard. They just eat weeds, eat any of the little like grubs and pests and things that are eating the leaves and the growth tips on your plants. And obviously every time they, do their business, it's fertilizing and adding nutrients to the ground. Come on, Quark. Come on. Come on. Come on, Quark. In the last couple of months, we've started trying to propagate more of the trees that we have here. So this row is all different types of grafted durian from Thailand, from Malaysia, different genetics that have been brought in over the last 30 years and proven to flower and set fruit here in Australia. This one is a grafted Gumpun durian, and what we're doing, you come over here and have a closer look, is I've got a seedling of a durian that we raised up in the nursery. It was probably a year old, and then we've gone and stripped some bark back on the rootstock and also on this low-lying branch, and then we've joined them together. So this has probably been here for maybe 2 months, and hopefully in another month or two we'll be able to cut that off, and then this genetics be able to grow with this local rootstock, and then we'll be able to plant that in the ground, and instead of saying getting fruit in 8 to 10 years, hopefully getting fruit 4 to 7 years. So yeah, we've done quite a few of these ones so we can propagate out more durian. We've done that with the rambutans and a few other different exotic fruit that we've got. Come on, over here. Come on, Clark. Come on. New addition is a beehive, which started off with sort of just 1 box and now it's gone to 2. It's been an extremely wet year. We've had 4.5 meters so far, which is pretty much the yearly average of rainfall in the area has happened in 5 months. So bees generally don't like that, but they're still hanging in there. My brother Jack and his Mrs. Eva have been tending to these, and they've got these like full suits that they put on and come out and smoke them to relax them and, tend to the hive and make sure the queen and all the workers are happy. So yeah, the bees are helping pollinate all of the orchard, plus they're also giving us honey, so it's a bit of a win-win. If If you've watched other videos, you'll notice there's been a lot of growth in these rows. This first row here is full of abius, and we had a really big crop earlier in the year. But one of the biggest issues we found was not only the fruit spotting bug were coming and piercing the fruit. If you've got any recommendations on how to combat them without spraying a lot of pesticides, please let me know. I'm open to it. I know you can introduce wasps and a few other things, but the other main issue we had was that we had full grown adult cassowaries, both male and female. They'd come in almost on the afternoon at the same time. They'd walk on in and they'd just walk along here, the big golden yellow fruit, and they'd just go gulp, 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 and they'd swallow the fruit whole, not even tasting them, not even enjoying them, and they'd just come and take their tax. So yeah, if anyone's got any hot tips how to sort out fruit spotting bug, we've got 3 different types here, I think. Well, I've seen 3 different types. And also to stop the cassowaries from eating all the fruit. Like, they literally came through and ate like $200 or $300 of fruit in one afternoon. So you let me know if you've got any hot tips. So in this row here, we've got annonas, so like your soursops, your llamas, your custard apples. We've had a little bit of a feed out of this row. And we got our first rambutans this year as well, which was super exciting. Had a small crop on one of the trees of rambutans. It's a pretty huge moment every time something sets fruit for the first time, particularly this rambutan, because it's only been in the ground for probably just over a year. It's pretty small. Rambutan. So sweet, so good. Close to no seed. But this year, the end of this year, in the next 6 months, we should get flowering on most of these trees. We're still into cropping with the likes of ginger, turmeric, and yellow and red papaya. So getting a really good feed of them. And also into cropping with beetle leaf, which I think Quark likes beetle leaf. Beetle leaf's really good to just like chop up in your salads and feed to your ducks. Hey, you like that, bub? Hey, you gotta chop it up pretty fine. That nice? Yeah, beetle leaf's pretty good. We're finding it's a great cover crop for the ground. So instead of having a lot of different little weeds and grasses that come up, we're preferring to smother the ground with edibles and duck food by the look of it. Hey, Bob. Come on. Have a look here. That's what's happening almost every night, as we're getting bats come in and take their tax, just like clawing all the fruit and eating out the middle. This actually might be a bird. Can't see too many claw marks on it, but that's happening almost every night. I think Quark would like this too. Here, come on. Here, bub. You like yellow pawpaw? We're having the pawpaw in green papaya salad, so doing like the Thai green papaya salad. Plus also, when they start colouring up a little bit, we'll just pick them within a few days on the bench at home. They'll ripen up nicely, like that. Is that good? Come on, bub. We're lucky, one more rambutan left. That is pretty much what we'd call an end of a season Brumby. They've got sort of thin red skin and white flesh on the inside and a little seed. You can see this one's all flushing now. Really tasty. Native to Borneo, Malaysia. That had no seed. That's a win. Sorry mate, couldn't share that with you, Quark. I've got another row of mangosteens here. Mangosteens, they call them the queen of fruit. Very beautiful, super tasty, white flesh, purple, thick purple skin. But these ones here are sort of anywhere from 1 year to 3 years old, and they're mostly being shaded up until about 2 years. and then pulling the shade off. But I'm finding the young growth tips, when they're young, get really sunburnt, and also like everything wants to eat them. They must be super tasty and like the right texture. So these have been a pretty hard one to grow, but we've now got 12 in a row and they're all really starting to move, which is awesome. And then we're still intercropping here with like chilies, gingers, pawpaw, ibeca, pumpkin, water spinach, a few other different types of, I guess, tropical greens, and some of them are acting as sacrificial as well for the bugs and pests. But as you can see here, if you have a close look under this shade cloth, that's what we're dealing with. So like they were nice big new leaves probably 5 or 6 days ago. We've had a grasshopper or grub come through and just destroy it. So we're getting that a fair bit, which is no good. So hopefully if we can raise up a few more of these Indian runner ducks, they can come through and eat all of the little pests that are destroying our growth tips. I'll just pull the shade off this one so you can have a closer look, but that's what it all should look like. Like that is an optimal mangosteen. New growth, light leaves, all pushing out, and absolutely nothing eating them. Behind me I've got a row of different varieties of bananas, and probably had 2 or 3 bunches over the last year and a half, but now most of them are all throwing out bunches, which is super exciting. So looks like a bat's been hanging off that, but I've got plenty more to eat. But these banana bells have flowers in them, and you can actually, especially because we're not spraying any of these, we can make a salad out of the flowers. Looks like Quark likes them as well. Hey, you like them, bud? It's sucking all the pollen out of the tips. Yeah, and as you can see here, they're pushing some really nice bunches. So biggest thing we've found with the bananas is trying to keep as much tucker up to them as possible. So like a lot of organic matter, a lot of nitrogen, a lot of potassium, just to be able to fill the fruit out, and making sure that there's enough leaves on the tree as well. Yeah, so that the plant can take in a lot of energy from the sun. And on the right side of me here, got another durian row to continue the obsession of durian. They're all different varieties, so we're trying to be able to have as much diversity as possible. We're not planting the trees out the recommended, say, 8 meters apart or 6 meters apart, 10 meters apart. We're going 3 or 4, and being able to have, like, understanding that we'll have less fruit, but we should be able to have a lot more diversity long term, with different species, different varieties of durian. You know, they're from different durian growing countries. Behind me is 2 of the first durian that I planted from a local durian that was just super tasty, like one of the best ones I've had in Australia. It was a Ganyao, and put 2 next to each other about 3 meters apart, and I haven't irrigated them. I've only given them mulch, and when I've come back from out fishing, I've given them fish frames and big lobster heads, big cray heads, and haven't done anything else fertilizing wise, maintenance wise. That's the only thing. And they're the best looking ones. They've had pretty much the least attention, and they're looking the best. So yeah, work that out. But they're impressive trees. I'm hoping in the next couple of years we get some flowers on them. Come on, bub. Come on. Come on. We repurposed a couple of old bathtubs here with different greens and different herbs. So I've got different spinaches, a few different types of basil. We've got chilies in just like a well-draining potting mix. As long as you come and take all the flowers off, just like tip them every few days or once a week, they just keep growing and stay really healthy. And these get used in most of our cooking, so they've been a real value adder. They're just planted in amongst all the different citrus here. So we've got like lemons, limes, mandarins, grapefruits, all the different types of citruses, which have finally started fruiting and are honestly getting used pretty much every day. So like I'll come out here, grab some oranges, some limes, some lemons, and just juice them up and be able to have a fresh juice or squeeze it and make a tea with ginger and turmeric. And yeah, it's a real morale booster, a real value adder, being able to come out and have fresh, fresh citrus. All right, this is the world record lemongrass. Let me know if you've seen one bigger, but I certainly haven't. But I've probably been in the ground for 2 years, just started one little tiny stem, and now it's just a huge big clump of lemongrass that I do need to take out and relocate and like repropagate. But yeah, it's just constantly throwing flowers, and it's pretty good that we come out and just use it with, use it for a lot of the curries we make and also tea. So it's good to have unlimited supply of lemongrass. Big lemongrass. Come on, bub. I've got a few other ducks in here that are really small. Come on, bub. Come back inside. I'll put Quark away. Come on. Come on, bub. Come on, come on, come on. All right, we'll head over to the cafe. I'll show you all the animals in the shed and how far we've come in 3 years. All right, so this cafe is called The Pocket. Geez, I'll keep these on, it's bright. This cafe is called The Pocket. It's here in Alarish. It's on the edge of the highway in North Queensland. It's in between, pretty much like Innisfail and Tully, or in between Townsville and Cairns. So if you're heading that way or you live in the area and you haven't come to check it out, please do. We'll have a little bit of a look in the cafe after feeding the animals. I am late to feed the animals, so we'll go over and give them a bit of tucker first. All right, so if you come to The Pocket on the weekend, we do animal feedings, 8:30 sharp. All right, so if you want to come on either Saturday or Sunday, and sometimes during school holidays we'll do too. So check out our Instagram, The Pocket Alarish, or The Pocket Cafe. Check out The Pocket's Instagram or Facebook page to find out when we have different events on. We do makers markets, farmers markets, suitcase rummages, all sorts of different stuff. But every weekend without fail, 8:30 a.m. animal feeding. We'll go feed the ducks and the chickens. We've also got geese and turkey. And they're mainly free range, but to keep them really happy, we feed them on the weekends and a couple of times during the week. They see that bucket from a mile away. Come on. We've got here a lot of different Indian runners that we raised here on the farm. We've got chickens, we've got a mating pair. You all right, mate? We've got a mating pair of geese and we've got 4 turkeys. We've got quite a lot of male ducks that need to be repurposed into some sort of a slow cooked duck meal at some stage. But we get lots of different eggs, both duck and chicken, that we have not only incubating but for eating at home. And other than that, they're just a good vibe, you know. A lot of the ducks we hand raised ourselves, so they're super friendly to come and have a pat and say g'day. So please do, if you're around on the weekend or you want to come past and make the trip. The chicken trailer behind me was actually an old sugarcane trailer that my granddad had on his farm, and we repurposed it so that just the chickens can go up the steps, and they've got separate feed on the inside, and also a section over here to the west that opens up, and there's little sections that they can lay in. And the idea is that we're able to come and get some eggs to have at the bacon for breakfast. Quite often you just walk around the paddock and you just find duck eggs. The Indian runners are notoriously bad mothers, so they just, they lay up to a couple of 100 eggs per year, but I've been feeding them and they just plop out an egg. They don't often have nests, they just drop the eggs and keep running. So we've got to check every day or two. And that, for a close inspection, is the difference between a Wyandotte and an Indian runner. Come on. We've got a few got a few goats and a few Dorper sheeps. Let them out to have a bit of fresh grass. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just yeah, they're super friendly, as you can see. All of them were hand raised. Matthew's started to charge though now, and he actually knocked my dad over the other day. Behind us we've got the little goat pen, so when it's raining for months on end, the goats go in there. We use all the droppings for fertilizer over at the orchard, so we'll shovel all that up, take it over in bags and put it around the fruit trees. And we're also building a shed just with a skillion roof, so that they've got a little stable that they can, you know, get fully out of the weather, because at the moment it's a little bit cozy in there. But yeah, they're treated pretty bloody good. Get off. I've got a tub here of molasses, which is actually fit for human consumption. It's pretty good for you, but it's a byproduct of sugarcane, and it's basically like black cocaine for these guys. They're super addicted to it. They absolutely love it, as you can see. We've got, what, a handful? We've got, I think, 7 water buffalo now, 8 as of 5 days ago. We've got a little baby that was just born. The mum's super protective, so I don't know whether it's a boy or a girl, but they've made wallows out in the paddock and they're hanging out, just rolling around in mud all day. The buffalo have actually been a real treat to have. Although they're a bit more temperamental, they don't require much maintenance in the way of like sprays or ear tags for flies and ticks. They just cover themselves in mud, and that keeps the sunburn off them, keeps the flies and the ticks off them. They're pretty bomb-proof, to be honest, kind of terrifying. Take a bit of molasses into them and see if they'll play nice. All right, come on, watch out. Come on, watch out, you're right, you're right. There you go, come on. So the cows love the molasses, but they're terrified of the buffalo. The buffalo definitely rule the paddock. They've got right away. I need to let the buffalo have a little bit and then try and sort of shoo them off so that the cows can come in and have a lick as well. Or just, as you're probably thinking, have a better system to distribute treats to the livestock, like multiple buckets. But for now, I've got to, hey, you're right, mate. I've got to keep an eye on this guy. He's about 2.5 years old. He's the bull, and he's full of testosterone. He chased my brother out of the paddock the other day. He's probably around 500 kilos, and it'll chase you out of a paddock quick smart. They can run up to about 60 k's an hour, so they're very fast. You're right, mate, you're right, unbelievably strong. If you ask them what we do at the buffalo, if I had more time, I'd be milking them. Apparently they get 7 litres a day out of them when they're in full production. You're right, mate, you're right. Hey, you're right. Yeah, 7 litres a day, and that's what they make the mozzarella out of. So I'll definitely do that at some point, but it's not the priority at the moment, time-wise. And about once a year, we'll do a killer and have meat for the next 4 or 5 months. And the buffalo meats, it's really, really tasty meat, really tasty fat. Yeah, we're probably due in the next couple of months to do another one. We go 6 months, we'll do a beef cow, and then 6 months we'll do and be eating a buffalo cow. All right, this fella's eyeing me off, so I'm gonna get out of the paddock. You're right, hey, you're right, mate. You're right, it's okay, you're right. All right, I'll see you later. It's pretty full in the cafe, so I'm not going to film in there. It's a bit shame, but basically open 6:30 a.m. here at the cafe till 2 p.m. every day. We do amazing coffees and chais, ice creams, milkshakes, smoothies. We've got our own gelato machine, so doing our own ice creams and sorbets from the produce that we grow or sourced locally. In probably a month's time, there's going to be big sunflowers. We just planted them last week here in this little patch behind us. We've got a huge car park here if you're towing a caravan, if you've got a truck or a boat on the back. There's plenty of space. And yeah, we'd love to see you down here. Let us know if you've got any questions, whether it's about the homestead or the animals, what we're growing, how we're doing things. But we're on the highway. Please come in and say good day. Just be careful on the road. We still have 100 kilometers an hour on the highway where we're sitting. If anyone is watching this in main roads by any chance, whether you work there your husband or wife works there, let me know who I can chat to about getting a safer turn in. All right, what's the most economical way to get a safer turn in to the property? But outside of that, guys, appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments any questions you want to have, and I'll answer them next time. See you out here.